Yo, I know that we all saw the same game, but I'm super proud of the Pacers rallying from that 20-point deficit to win 99-91 over the Houston Rockets. It was the Pacers' third straight victory, and they trailed by double digits in each contest. The Pacers now improved to an 8-6 overall with wins in 7 of their last 9. The Rockets, well, they fell to 3-13. But the biggest news is point guard Tyrese Haliburton leaving the game with an ankle injury. But before we get into the injury news, let's talk about Oshae Brissett. My man was on fire tonight, even when both teams were throwing up bricks, big dog. The Pacers reserve, he seemed blissfully unaffected by the bricklaying. The Pacers, they didn't hit a single three-pointer until he hit his first in the second quarter. And as a team, they finished 12 of 41. Brissett, he made his first 5 shots, including his first 4 threes, on his way to 14 points for the game. Look, Brissett has had an increase in minutes since Chris Duarte went to the bench with an apparent injury. He scored 8 points in each of his previous 2 games after scoring a combined total of 6 in the Pacers' first 11, 5 of which he didn't even appear in. You can really tell that the rest of the Pacers, they just simply enjoy watching him when he's accomplished in recent games. He only played more than 10 minutes once in the Pacers' first 8 games, but he's played at least 11 in each of the past 4, and played just under 18 on Friday. Now back to Tyrese Haliburton's ankle injury. My man says he's fine. He missed all 4 of his first quarter 3-point shots. He struggled to hit anything outside early on, but he finished with 19 points, 8 dimes, and 6 boards, big dog. However, in the final minute after a fast break layup that essentially sealed the game, Houston center Usman Garuba landed on my man's foot, and Haliburton had to be carried off the court. I'm not gonna lie, my heart was beating a little too fast then. But Haliburton said he's good to go. So let's move on. We need to talk about the Pacers' first quarter blunders. Just about everything that could have gone wrong in the first quarter, it actually did. No matter how open the shot, none of them fell, and they finished the quarter with more turnovers than made baskets. That's pretty insane. The Pacers just made 4 of 18 field goal attempts and missed all 7 of their triples. They were 2 of 4 from free throw and committed 7 turnovers, averaging an abysmal 0.42 points per possession. They fell behind 19-4 and then 25-6. And they needed 4 points from rookie Bennedict Mathurin in the final minute of the quarter just to get to double figures. Look, what is super interesting is that they still trailed 25-10. And if you guys remember North Central High School grad and the 2007 Indiana Mr. Basketball, my man Eric Gordon, he outscored the Pacers with his own 12 points. Center Myles Turner and point guard Andrew Nembhard each drew 2 fouls, and forward Jalen Smith was briefly dinged up, having to work through a minor injury on a stationary bike. The Pacers went deep into their bench tonight, giving minutes to James Johnson and Goga Batez. Look, I am proud of the boys. They found a way to get a win. They shook off the horrid first quarter with a much better second frame, outscoring the Rockets 35-25 and making 11 of 21 field goal attempts, and they went 6 of 13 from triples, cutting the Rockets' lead to 50-45 at the end of the first half. Yo, we have to talk about Jalen Smith. My man grabbed a total of 18 boards tonight. Now, the Pacers and the Rockets, they combined to miss 109 field goal attempts last night. But that gave way to an incredible rebounding effort by both teams. The Pacers ultimately lost the battle 49-46, but Jalen Smith's 18 boards were still absolutely critical to keeping Indiana in the game when they were struggling. Of the 18, 14 came on the defensive side of the floor. He also made 4 of 10 shots to finish with 10 points and his 4th double-double of the season. Look, you can't forget, Smith also swatted 3 shots and dished out 4 dimes, big dog. So he arguably had the most complete game of anyone on the roster last night. And head coach Rick Carlisle, my man was ejected. He drew 2 quick technical fouls in succession. Apparently, my man was displeased with a non-call on what could have been a foul committed against Haliburton. Carlisle was in the ear of the official while the Rockets drove down the floor. The official was apparently displeased enough with whatever Carlisle said to issue a technical, and Carlisle was tossed, big dog. Wing Buddy Hield tried to hold him back, but Carlisle drew another tech and was bye-bye. Pierce, who spent 3 years as a head coach in Atlanta from 2018 to 2021, took over the coaching duties for the rest of the game, and he did a heck of a job. Now, I want to talk about Buddy Hield, because coming into the season, no one expected Hield to play this well and have such a big role in the Indiana Pacers team. He has quietly been one of the most consistent guys on the roster. Now, one thing that we weren't sure about is if this team would be able to compete this year with the rest of the tough Eastern Conference. Well, the Pacers are sitting at 8-6 right now, and they're over 500 for the first time in almost 2 years. Through 14 games so far, Hield has started in all of them and has put up a steady number, averaging 18.8 points, 5.5 boards, and a solid 3.2 dimes per contest. An impressive 47% shooting from the field, including just under 41% from beyond the arc, and shooting 87% from the charity stripe. He has undoubtedly been one of the best players on the Indiana Pacers roster. Oh, and of course, for his niche, Hield is tied in second for the most threes made this season at 52, trailing none other than the Splash Brother and Steph Curry at 72. Buddy finished last year and is in the position to do so once again. One of the things that has been the most impressive about the veteran sharpshooter is his consistency. He has played in all 13 games so far this season, like he has something to prove. He has been tasked several times with guarding some of the top players in the league in short spurts despite being pegged in the past as a poor defender. He seems to also have taken a leadership role in this team alongside TJ McConnell. I have a question. Is Buddy Hield now part of the future for the Indiana Pacers? Well, the Pacers are obviously building for the future, but with the way that they're playing right now, is it not outlandish to say that the Pacers could compete for at least a play-in spot for the playoffs? Did you guys see NBA.com's latest power rankings? They have the Indiana Pacers at 13. Now, I know if we would have said that a couple weeks ago, we would all be laughing. Yet the month of November may be showing that the Indiana Pacers are a much better team than we originally projected. In the month of November, the Pacers are 3-1, with the only loss being a narrow loss to the Denver Nuggets. And even in that game, the Pacers had a chance at 3 at the end to tie it up. Look, Tyrese Haliburton is playing out of his damn mind with 124 total assists. He ranks first in the NBA. He's averaging 10.3 assists per game, which ranks first as well, and 22 steals, which ranks 8th, to go along with almost 21 points per game. Even his advanced stats are looking great, ranking 8th in offense plus minus and 10th in win shares. He quickly looks like he has a ceiling of a generational type point guard. Now, don't forget about Bennedict Mathurin. He has been something truly special. As a rookie, to be averaging nearly 20 points per game with an effective field goal percentage of 56% is an incredible start. He certainly will be in the conversation for Rookie of the Year at the end of the season, and would be the obvious choice if Paolo Banchero in Orlando wasn't having a special season himself. The upcoming schedule is probably more of a weaker one. They got Houston, Orlando twice, Minnesota, and Brooklyn. There's a chance that the Pacers find themselves at 12-6 or even 11-7 in the coming weeks. If that happens, don't be surprised when the national media begins to take notice as the Pacers become a growing threat in the East. And if we aren't as good as